What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Half-Fast Garage. Today I'm going to show you a DIY method to pressure test a radiator outside of your vehicle in case you've welded brackets on it like this. You want to test it for leaks. You don't need a lot of expensive parts and you can rent this tool, so I'll show you how to do it. Well, my tripod just broke, so bear with me. This will be a little shaky. What you're going to need are some expandable freeze plugs. So the way that these things work is it has a nut on the top, like there, and as you tighten that up, it squishes these together and expands this rubber part in the middle out, makes it larger. So you just need to measure the inside diameter of your inlet and outlet on your radiator. They're different sizes typically. And the only other thing that you'll need that costs a little bit, but you can rent them at your auto parts store, is a pressure testing kit. So one of these EverTough 67085, they have these at my local auto parts store, which is, O'Reilly's. I don't know if I should say names or whatever on here, but it's common enough. You can just rent these, about 150 bucks. I borrowed this one from Jay, but again, you go up there and you give them 150 bucks on a credit card or whatever. They loan you the tool, you use it, and then return and get your money back. That's how it works, in case you've never done that. These things are about $8 a piece, $4 a piece, something like that. They also carry these up at the auto parts store. This one is, what size? 1 3/4 and 1 3/8 or something like that. I forgot. But it doesn't matter. Just measure it up and figure out which one it is. One thing that you'll have to do is they're not going to be the exact fit for this, more than likely. So you're going to have to kind of file down. Come on, focus. You have to file down this edge. So I'll show you how to do that. One of the easiest ways to do this, to get this thing filed down at home, DIY stuff, is just take the nut off and separate this upper washer, and then just stick it in your drill chuck. So, just chuck that thing up in the drill. Am I going the right way? Yeah. And then there you go. Now you can turn it. So just get yourself a file that's got a little bit of a, coarse tooth to it, and fire this thing up. I'm holding the camera, tripod broke, and just sit and let it ride. Now, I used my lathe for this because it was way easier to use my lathe than the drill, and it was faster, but that doesn't really affect how you get it done. It's just that you got to get it done. So just make this thing, fit inside of here. Now, you don't want to make it too loose. You want to have a nice snug fit, because these things will be under some pressure. So don't make them too loose, but you also don't want to get them so tight that you got to cram them down in there really hard, because it'll be difficult for you to get it out. So yeah, you can see right there, it's about how much I took off of these. Now, these were scrap. These were just in the scrap bin at Jay's, and I pulled them out. If you're going to order some, you might be able to get them a little closer in size to what your actual inlet and outlet are. Also, I like to put just a little tiny thin coating of some Vaseline on it, just to kind of give them a little bit of a sealing property in case this gets a little bit rough on the edge. And that's pretty much it. So we'll put it in, and I'll show you how to use a pressure tester. Yeah, I'll show you real quick. One-handed deal. Once you get it chucked up in there, you can just basically drag it right across the file. Just sit there and turn it. You can already see some of the material coming off of it. So it's going to take you a minute, but it goes a lot faster than you think. And then before long, you're going to have the right size for your radiator. All right, so now that you've filed this down to the right size, you can just go ahead and just stick it on down inside of there. Get it snug. You can see it's seated nice. And then grab your wrench and just tighten them up. You do that on this one, and do it on your one up there. Now basically you've sealed it up. So you'll notice that the bolt in the center isn't turning. That's what you want. Sometimes they'll slip, like this bolt's attached to that washer on the other side. So sometimes they'll slip. You just got to kind of hold it all and wiggle it around, but eventually it'll go. You don't need to crank on it a ton, but remember that this thing will be under some pressure. Now, typically, these aren't massive pressures. You probably won't want to exceed like 20 psi. So, you know, you'll be under 20 psi in the radiator. So just go ahead and assemble these things and put them together and move on to the next step. Now, depending on your radiator and depending on your kit, it'll have a different end on it. This is a pretty old school radiator. It just goes on like a normal radiator cap. So that's basically what you're doing, is using this as a radiator cap. There we go. So now it's on, turn it, and then there you go. It's locked on. Now, one of these, this way, when it's loose, that is sealing off this compartment. That spring in there it's sealed like your radiator cap right now. Whenever it's under pressure, if you want to, you know, loosen the pressure, remove the pressure, let it kind of drain, you just turn it. So you can just keep on turning it around. It won't do anything. There's little ramps on the side. But anyway, you can relieve the pressure by just turning it. You'll hear it hiss out, and then you're good to go. But there you go. It's on. It's tight. Whatever the cap's rating is, this is probably rated for 28 to 30 maximum for the pump and the cap, because that is the maximum for this. Now we just pump it all up. Can't do it one-handed. Anyway, you know, that's the way a pump works. Alright, I found another tripod. So, these things are easy. You can loosen these things up. Pull them in and out. And as you can see, if you tighten this, it pulls on this, squishes together, bulges this out, and they fit nice and tight. That's about all you need. So, just pump up your pressure tester. Now normally, if this thing was in a car, you would have all your radiator hoses hooked to your, you know, to your engine and every other thing, and you would be able to do it like this. Now, when your radiator's outside of a car, you don't have any of those systems in place to seal the entire radiator up. So other than taking a one flexible radiator hose or combination of radiator hoses and putting them together, you'd still need a coupler in the middle because this size and that size are different. So using these freeze plugs here, that's the cheapest and easiest and fastest way that I can think of, and it's small and lightweight and you can carry it all over the place to diagnose a radiator problem, you know, on your bench. So like this thing is an old radiator that was given to me, and I had to make these brackets up and weld them on. Well, it was pretty damaged to begin with. If you saw any of the other videos, I cut a bunch of old tabs off of it and I just tried to reuse it. So apparently I have, either there was a crack there already or I created one when I welded it. So who knows, but I'll show you right now. Got our measurement up in here. It's showing about 12 psi, 11 and a half. Get it up a little bit more. There we go. We're in the, what is that, 13, 14 psi range. This is Dawn dish soap in some water. You can see right there. And this one will be really apparent. You can even hear it. See the bubbles? Now if I were to spray this, no bubbles. This one up here, no bubbles at all. But here, it's super apparent that there is a leak. Let's spray this down a little bit more so you can see that these are not leaking. So there are our plugs. No leaks. Obviously, pretty massive leak here. There must be a crack because it's coming from actually underneath too. So we have an issue underneath this tab right there because it's actually coming in from underneath as well. See the bubbles? So yeah, that's it. So using expandable freeze plugs, just file them down with a drill, homemade type stuff. you'll be able to bench test your radiator without having a bunch of other stuff involved, just using some basic, basic parts that you can find at any auto parts store, basically. Expandable freeze plugs, a drill and a file, and then rent this kit here, and you're good to go. So you can always check your radiator before you put it in. On my new engine that's going in that, it would have been a nightmare to find that on startup and break-in. Here's my new one. This one has a threaded neck on it right here, so I'll have to make another seal for in this one right here. But that other one down there is the same size as that one. So there you go. That's how you bench test your radiator for, super cheap and not a lot of effort. So you'll be able to do this on anything that you got. And I don't know how much it costs to take it to a radiator shop and have them pressure test it, but I'm willing to bet that it's more expensive than this. This whole procedure took me about an hour, something like that, hour and a half total. And that was to find the parts and figure it all out. So it should be able to do it for you a lot quicker. Just whip it up and you're good to go. So thanks for watching. I hope you learned something and you liked the video. If you did, hit like and subscribe. Comment down below so I can chat with y'all. Thanks to Thunderhead289 because he's the one that convinced me that I should make a video on this. So if you're not subscribed to his channel, you should go check it out. Thunderhead289 on YouTube. Check him out. He's awesome. And yeah, so like, subscribe, comment down below. And check out some of my other videos. If you're on Instagram, I'm on there, Half-Assed Garage. Check it out. And I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks.